Hey folks, Wes here. Just want to give an update on the Lightning Archon Stormweaver Sorc build. Now that we're in the late 90s, we're able to very easily clear all tier 15 mapping content, and we're able to down all tier 3 bosses in the game. We haven't gotten to Uber Arbiter yet, but for the tier 3 bosses, we're able to clear them so easily that a couple of them bug out and we get locked in their arena as they don't phase. You can check out this Olroth clip here where he doesn't go to phase 2, which is pretty funny. Anyway, we've made a few updates to the build, and I just wanted to show those off right now. The passive tree has changed a little bit. Since we're trying to push for levels, we are more defensive now, and I think around level 95 we might have another update coming, as I might change the tree to be hybrid evasion ES, but for now we're still full ES. And the big things in the build, as I said before, while mapping, you're pretty much just casting Arc and Orb of Storms. While bossing, we have a specific setup where we throw down a Curse, we throw down Elemental Exposure, we throw down the Sigil of Power, we get in our Mana Tempest, and then we shock the boss and cast our Spell Slinger from our wand, which casts the Lightning Conduit, and that usually one-taps the boss. The only boss that we're not like one-shotting consistently is Xesht. He takes 2 Lightning Conduits right now. We'll figure that out shortly. Alright, so let's go over the skills real quick. What we have updated, we have gotten a 5-socket or 6-link Spell Slinger wand now. Our Lightning Conduit is max level at 20, and in it we have Elemental Focus, Control Destruction, Rising Tempest, and Lightning Mastery. This Rising Tempest gets fully procced to the max when you use your Curse, because your Curse counts as using all 3 elements, so it fully stacks the elemental damage on Rising Tempest immediately. We upgraded our Sigil of Power. We are now using a level 18 Sigil of Power, and in it we have Magnified Area, makes it larger, which is nice for us. We don't care that it does less damage because it doesn't do any damage. We have Rapid Casting to make it cast faster, and then we have Cooldown Recovery just in case we want to use it more often. Our Arc is also now level 20. It is a 6-link. We have Rising Tempest still, Rapid Casting, Controlled Destruction, Lightning Mastery, and we are using Considered Casting. If I was having mana issues, then I would put Efficiency 2 in here, but currently we don't have any mana issues, and that's because of our tree and because of our gear, which I can get into in a little bit as well. Orb of Storms has not changed. We are still using Overabundance 2. We're using Harmonic Remnants 2. We're using Efficiency 2, and we're using Rapid Casting. If I get a 6-link here, I will probably put in Magnified Effect 1, because Magnified Effect 2 makes you do less area damage, and I'm not sure if this will actually affect the damage or not. I'll have to see. If Magnified Effect or Magnified Area 2 doesn't affect the damage, then we'll use Magnified Area 2 when we get a 6-link here. For Mana Tempest, we have Efficiency still, Lightning Mastery, Rapid Casting, and Cooldown Recovery. Cooldown Recovery is just nice because it does have a small cooldown on it. It's like 1 second. On an Elemental Weakness, we have Rapid Casting, Heightened Curse, Focus Curse, and we're using Fire Mastery now just to boost its level by 1. It is level 19 as well. Frostbomb has not changed, except for the level has gone up. We could get this to level 19 soon. It is using Harmonic Remnants, Short Fuse, and Potent Exposure. In Archmage, we are using level 19. Haven't gotten a level 20 Spirit Gem yet. And we have Lightning Mastery and Clarity 1. And no other support gems. If you don't have enough Spirit, you could drop Clarity, just as a heads up. And then the other Spirit buffs we still have Convalescence. We are still using Cooldown Recovery 2 and Second Wind 3. Second Wind 3, very nice. Restore 2% of life on support on 1 second cooldown for supported skills. This is really nice. It is very big defensive. If you have the ability to get an extra 30 spirit in your build or an extra 20 spirit in your build, I guess the minimum is 30 on gear, then you definitely want to be using Convalescence. And the final thing we have is Siphon Elements. It's still low level. We could get the level up on this. We also haven't qualified it fully. As you can see, we're still like slowly gathering and updating our build here. But this is nice. It makes it feel like There are lightning remnants all over the map when you're mapping. It's pretty insane. If you don't have the, like, I think if you're not using clarity, you need 150 spirit total to be able to use everything here. If you don't have 150 spirit, you could probably drop siphon elements. Convalescence, I feel like you need as a pure evasion or a pure energy shield user because it really helps defensively. So that is our current skill gem setup. Now we have made some pretty significant gear upgrades. In particular is this dueling wand here, which is a level 20 dueling wand, and level 20 is new in this particular league, which allows for the implicit spell, or yeah, I guess buff is what this is called, to be 6-linked here. And that only happens at level 20, and these are like a special drop from, I guess, high level activities. I bought this wand as is for 7 divine on day 2 or 3. I feel very lucky to have this wand. Make it better, I will have to use a bunch of whittlings on it, and we'll be doing that as like a long craft throughout the league. To talk about the rest of the gear, we have a ancestral helmet. The ancestral helmet is 480 energy shield. You just want to get a helmet with as much energy shield as possible and as many resist as possible. The focus that we have, it's very easy to get +3 spells, and mana cost efficiency also very nice. Both of these are extremely easy to hit this season. You can get them through essences. So on a rare focus, you can just press perfect, I think it's perfect mind or something like that. There is one of the perfect essences that gives mana cost efficiency, and then there is another perfect essence that gives all spells. They're very cheap, so you could just buy a Talisman focus and then use both of those perfect essences and have a mana cost efficiency +3 all spell. And then you can desecrate it, and hopefully in the desecration you either get spell damage or you get invocated spells do increased damage. This in particular is nice because our boss killer is lightning conduit, and that's what we're using most of the time. And the rest of it, I want to get this to be lightning damage eventually, and I want to get this to be either spell damage or something else. I'm not sure, maybe like holy max mana or something like that. So that's the focus. On our neck, we don't have a +3 neck yet. We are struggling to update this. It is quite expensive to roll for spirit. We do have some fractured +3 all spell. So basically what you're looking for is probably on your neck you want to get 50 spirit, because 50 spirit is the minimum needed to run our convalescence and siphon elements. You would drop clarity 1 here. So you need 150 spirit on the build to run these 3 things: Archmage, Convalescence, and Siphon Elements. So that's what we're looking for. We're trying to get an amulet with +3 all spell, 50 spirit total, and then we want to get spell damage and cast speed and mana, and then maximum energy shield, which should be possible, as the percent mana, maximum mana increase is a implicit, or not an implicit, you can use a perfect essence to get the mana, and the spell damage will, I guess we'll just have to like craft for or eventually buy. So the things you want in your amulet: spirit minimum. You want to get 50 spirit on your amulet, hopefully, or between your chest and your amulet, you want 50 spirit, and +3 all spell. Those are the 2 things that you want for the build. For the rings, we are still using dream fragments. This will eventually be upgraded, but I can't stress this enough: the chilled or frozen, not being able to be chilled or frozen, actually feels super nice. So I might be running dream fragments for quite a long time. We are using a Havoc Coil Breach ring here with mana, maximum mana, mana regen, and mana on kill. This will eventually get rolled to have lightning damage instead here. The max mana comes from a perfect mind essence. So this is guaranteed pretty much anytime you want. But the things we're missing here is the lightning damage. Percent lightning damage increases would be really big, would actually spike our damage quite a bit. On the chest, you could, if you can't get spirit on your amulet or enough spirit on your amulet, you could try to buy a chest with 30 spirit. Eventually, we're going to get a higher energy shield chest here, probably around like 900 energy shield, I think is pretty top this season. But on your chest, you just want as much energy shield as possible, maybe spirit if you need it, and then intelligence, and then resistances. You fill out your resists. Our boots, we're still using the same boots. We have these 30% movement speed boots. Eventually, we'll try to get 35%. We'll try to get the socket increase effect here. We'll try to get 2 sockets. But yeah, on your boots, you just want as much energy shield as possible, and then whatever resistances you need, and intelligence. On our belt, we're eventually going to update our belt to an ingenuity belt, which means, yeah, we'll eventually have an ingenuity belt here. But on your belt, you just want max life, max mana, whatever resists you need, same deal. And then on the gloves, this is one of the most important slots. One of the, like, the probably like 3rd or 4th most important slot, I guess, behind your wand, your amulet, and your focus is this, because of the rune that you can socket in that gives 20% increased magnitude of non-damaging ailments you inflict, means you increase the damage that your shock applies, or the magnitude of shock that you have. Currently, we are sitting at 60% shock magnitude, which is a massive multiplier for Lightning Conduit, because Lightning Conduit does more damage with hits per 5% shock effect on enemy. So at 60%, it's getting 25% more. So for every 20% you have, yeah, this is hard math for me. For every 20% you have, you're doing 100% more damage. So at 60%, we're doing 300% more damage. But because we can shock the enemy twice, they're at 120%. So they're getting 600% more damage taken. It's an incredible amount of damage. When I hit bosses with, like, when they're fully debuffed, when I'm fully buffed, with the Lightning Conduit, it's doing like 7 million damage. And we don't even have a +3 amulet yet. Once we get +3 on our amulet, I'm pretty sure we'll raise that number to like 9 million, maybe more. But it'll be really crazy. So for the gloves, you want like as much energy shield as possible. These gloves in particular, I use the new corrupting thing to try to fix my resistances and whatnot. So that's why the quality is not all the way up there. We will update these gloves eventually with a 2-socket, 100% socket effect increase. We will just go crazy on these gloves eventually. That is going to be a late-stage craft this league for me. But for the gloves, the 20% magnitude of non-damaging ailment rune is a big one. This is definitely what you want. It is called Thane Ranel's Rune of Mastery is what you're looking for. But otherwise, you just want resistances. Dexterity we don't really need. You probably want to get intellect on here instead. Mana, life, energy shield, everything like typical defensive stuff. We are currently using the Antidote Charm for when we get poisoned, where you don't like getting stunned, so we're using the Stone Charm, and we don't like getting bleed, so we're using the Bleed Charm to deal with that. And that is our gear. We have 4 ascensions. Here is our current ascension tree. We still are taking Force of Will down here. We're taking Strike twice because the double shock scales our Lightning Conduit damage massively. And then we're taking Storm's Recollection. Storm's Recollection with the Lightning Conduit, or not Lightning Conduit, with the Siphon Elements, basically leaves these Lightning Remnants, Lightning Infusions all over the field. When you're mapping, it is abundant. There are so many Lightning Infusions, I actually can't use all of them. Also, now that we're mapping and we just want to get levels, we have switched to a much more defensive tree. So we are taking the Energy Shield node paths on this side. And we're still getting these energy shields. We're still getting the mana cost efficiency. But what's new is we're coming down here and we're getting alternating current. Alternating current and leading up to alternating current greatly increases the magnitude of shock that we are inflicting, which is very nice. We're still taking these elemental infusions. I'm not 100% sold on these, but it does seem to increase our damage by quite a lot. Maybe because our build currently lacks spell damage modifiers. So we don't have tons of spell damage modifiers yet. We are currently taking the Lightning Archon stuff. We have an extra node here just because for the weapon set stuff, I kind of ran out of points and ideas for what to get. We are still using the weapon set 2 curse stuff, which we explained in the last video, but basically you put your curse on weapon set 2 down here, and it automatically swaps to weapon set 2 when you use your curse. We took out all of these points. I'm not sure if I'm going to go back into them. But these points didn't feel like they're really giving us a lot of damage. We shock things just fine. And 5% gain is not very much. The lightning quick is probably the best nodes in here. So maybe eventually we'll come back and get lightning quick. And then the branching bolts we also don't really need. We are clearing stuff just fine, especially with Mana Tempest. So we're still taking all these nodes. Over here, we updated our jewel to be large radius, and we just got extremely lucky on this. We hit increased effective notable passives. This jewel, the most important things you want is medium radius at minimum, and you want shock magnitude. And then I think cast speed is the next best thing that you can get on there, but shock magnitude is a must, and large radius is also very good. If you can find one with medium radius or large radius and the increased effective notable skills and shock magnitude, those 3 things would be the best. I think cast speed you could drop for anything else. But the increased effective notable, interestingly enough, also increases the shock magnitude. So because we have this increased effective notable passives and the shock magnitude is getting increased by this also increased effective notable passives. And we learned this last season, I think, but it's still very cool to see. So having that gives a lot of extra shock magnitude here. Because we have large now, we are taking the Energizing Archon, which gives you faster energy shield rate and recharge rate and stuff like that. This is an okay node. I'm not super happy about this node, but because it's in range and we get the extra shock magnitude, we are taking it. The increased Archon buff duration also feels pretty nice. We're still taking these things. We now have invocated efficiency. This gives a lot of extra damage for the triggered spell, which is your lightning conduit up here. You can see it counts as a trigger. So we are also taking abasement for the stun recovery and stun threshold for energy shield, but mostly because it's in range of this large circle. Right over here, because we're going more defensive, we're taking Enhanced Barrier. They gave Enhanced Barrier 5% life converted to energy shield, and you can see our energy shield is now 7,000, which is really cool. And our chest is not all the way up still. We're also taking Breaking Point. Breaking Point, really huge for us too, because of the 30% magnitude of non-damaging ailments you can inflict. Once again, Lightning Conduit, scales with shock, shock magnitude on the target. This is really big. It does so much damage, or adds so much damage. And then we're coming over here for all natural because 5 to all LE res feels good. And then 30% elemental damage is also kind of nice. These points I'm not sure on. Maybe we will take these out later on and swap them around. And I think that's all the updates to our tree. All right, and just to once again show the gameplay loop. While you're mapping, you're just double casting this, the Orb of Storms, and you're casting Arc while in the Orb of Storms. When you get up against a particularly tough rare, you're casting Mana Tempest, or when there's a lot of enemies, because Mana Tempest helps with clear. It makes your chaining hits chain twice, or split, so it really spikes your clear up quite a lot. When we run into a rare, we are pressing Curse, And then we're hitting arc, making sure they're shocked. And once they're shocked, we're pressing our spell slinger, and spell slinger sends out lightning conduit. Instantly kills pretty much any rare on the map as long as they don't have like proximal tangibility. For the bossing setup, I've been playing clips of the bossing setup pretty much the whole time. But when you get to a boss room, like you're running up to Xesht here, you're running up to Xesht, he's got to take 10 seconds to come out, or like 20 seconds to come out. You're just waiting for your Orb of Storms to end, you're getting your lightning infusions. You're hoping not to proc your lightning archon before he comes out, but as he's coming out, you do Sigil of Power, then you curse him, you brew down the Frost Bomb for the elemental exposure, you make sure that he's shocked. Once he is shocked, you press Mana Tempest and Lightning Conduit, and that should do like 7 million damage for... It does like 7 million damage for me. Once again, it like one-shots Olroth. It actually bugs him out, which is funny and annoying at the same time. It usually one-taps the tier 3 King of the Mist, and for Xesht, it does about 7 million, and I think Xesht has like 14-ish million HP, so you do need 2 hits on Xesht. Hopefully, we can scale our damage even further with better gear, and instead of 2-shotting him, we can just start 1-shotting him, which should be very possible with some gearing updates. Anyway, that's the entire build. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. I will throw a Xesht or Olroth clip at the end here just to show like the full fight, the full flow of it without me talking over it. So thanks for hanging in. If you liked it, please like and subscribe. And we'll see you next time with a build update, probably when I'm a few levels higher. Hopefully we stop dying and we can gain our XP. We'll try to probably switch the build around quite a bit. We might go hybrid energy shield evasion. We're going to try to pick up more gem or jewel sockets in the tree. And yeah, we'll see you then. Peace.